Thanks for watching HCAM. If you want to help create content like this, become an HCAM member. As a member, you'll have access to professional quality equipment and software, as well as guidance from HCAM staff. Come see us at 35 Pond Park Road, Suite 8, conveniently located near Route 3 and Derby Street in Hingham.
Everybody, welcome to Capital One Cafe's Money Workshop. Today we will be focusing on budgets made easy. This is going to be a fun workshop that we have today. First off, I'll go ahead and I'll introduce myself. My name is Pascal. I've been with Capital One for over 2 years now. I started over in the in the Boylston Cafe initially, and then transitioned over here to Hingham. Born and raised in Boston, have a son, 3 years old, named Miles. We are trying to raise him right, learn how to save money, spend money, and invest it. So about Capital One, reasons why we have these money workshops. It's just to share tricks and tools with customers on how to get comfortable with money and budgeting. We had a lot of conversations with customers before, and the consensus was people just really aren't comfortable speaking about money or anything like that. So we developed these courses and these workshops to get people a little bit more comfortable talking about it and being open along with it. So really quick, I'll go ahead and put on my corporate hat, let you all know that I am not an advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. I am here to talk about some tools and some tricks that we all can use. So let me go ahead and let you guys know that this course is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to provide legal, investment, or financial advice, or to indicate the availability or suitability of any Capital One product or service to your unique circumstances. For specific advice about your unique circumstances, you may wish to consult a qualified professional. I'll go around the room really quick just to figure out who's here, what's your names. So please, introduce yourselves.
My name is Marissa.
Hi, Marissa.
Hello. I am 22, I'm a college student. I work a full-time job. And I'm just trying to get by, but I've been having fun and trying to do it the right way every day, one step at a time. So that's where I'm at.
Thank you.
My name is Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
I'm a mom, a 22-year-old and a 16-year-old, and I'm here to learn to better budget because I need some help in that area.
Awesome.
And any tricks, I'm willing to learn.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what we'll be going over. Today we will be discussing budget basics, budget strategies, conscious spending, talking about exploring needs and wants, and then also setting goals, short-term and long-term goals. All right. Does anybody have any questions right now on anything? Okay, so let's get started. Why do budgets get a bad rap? Can someone tell me why do budgets have such a negative connotation that comes along with it?
It's reality.
That's the second time I've heard that today. I had a workshop, someone said the exact same thing. It's reality.
Sometimes you just don't want to know.
Yeah, interesting. Marissa?
I think it's just a bittersweet knowing that you can't get something that you want.
Yeah.
Wants versus needs kind of thing.
Yeah.
And level that out.
That's honestly, God, the biggest fear with budgeting is that you're not going to be able to live the lifestyle that you want to live. People, when they think about budgeting, they're just like, I can't do this. I can't, buy that Starbucks coffee every single day that I love so much. I can't go to the movies as I want to. But the thing is, what you're doing when you're budgeting is you're freeing yourself. You're giving yourself an opportunity to think about a goal that you want to achieve or you want to get to. So what you're doing is figuring out how much money you have, what I need to do with that money, and things that I want to use that money for. Every business has a budget. Apple, Google, every business has a budget. So why aren't we looking at ourselves in the same light as Apple and Google and all those other multi-billion-dollar companies? You know, every one of those businesses has a set amount of funds to go to a certain department, job, whatever it is. So we need to start looking at ourselves like that. So a budget helps you take control of your finances, and it helps to learn and tell the difference between wants and needs. So can somebody else tell me what a benefit to budgeting could be?
Not overspending.
Not overspending?
Not buying something that you soon realize that won't benefit you in the long run.
All great points. So some common benefits to budgeting: it reduces money-related anxiety, which everybody know money can get very, very anxious. You're thinking to yourself, do I have enough money to pay my rent? My goodness, I want to go on this vacation. I have this credit card. When you think, or something happens, you know, you definitely want to be able to say, I'm not stressed about it. But it's stressful. Whenever you're thinking about money, you're going to be anxious about it. So that's one thing that benefits of budgeting. It reduces that anxiety. 2, it gives you control of your financial situation. Once you know where your money is going and what it's doing for you, it's going to be that much easier to do. It's going to be like second nature for you. 3rd, it helps you build your assets and improve your quality of life. If you're saving money and you know what your goal is, you're going to continue on that goal. So life is going to be easier. You're not going to be as stressful with that budgeting as you would think you were. All right. So when we're considering building a budget, what are we thinking about? What should you consider once you're building a budget?
I'd say things that are essential to your survival, food, and you know, like you said, rent, things like that.
So what you're budgeting for?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say income.
Boom. Income is definitely the number one thing to consider when you're building a budget, because depending on how much you're bringing in, you don't want to just go ahead and start saving, because you have to consider the things that you have to pay for. You have to pay for rent. You have to pay for insurance. You have to pay for taxes. So you want to put that into account. All right. 3 key elements to consider when you're developing your own budget: track and examine your spending, trying to figure out where your money goes. Number 2, consider a budgeting strategy that works for you. So can someone give me an idea of what a budgeting strategy could be?
Maybe using an app to help you budget.
Exactly.
Track your spending.
Exactly.
That can help you a lot.
An app that you can use.
Or
Jackie?
Excel
Or Excel or notebook.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody works in different ways. So finding out the best way to budget is on you. So whether that's downloading an application and putting in all of your transactions for the day and calculating it that way, or having a notepad and writing it down. What you want to do is to find out what works for you. All right. Number 3, setting financial goals. When you're budgeting, you have to have a goal. It's fun to say, yes, I just want to save money, or I want to just budget to budget. But what are you budgeting for? Are you budgeting for the future? Are you budgeting for a house? Are you budgeting for a car? Set that goal. Tell yourself this is what you want to budget it for. That makes it a lot more easier for you to think about it and say, no, this is what I want. And you're going to be more disciplined once you actually do that. All right. So quick exercise time right now. If you guys could take out your pen and the pad, I want you to write down what you spent today. So from the time you woke up today to the time you got here right now, what you spent and how much you spent on it. I'll give you guys a minute. All right. So the action that you guys just completed right now, that's called itemizing your expenses. What we used to call this was balancing a checkbook. It's pretty much the same thing. It's balancing a checkbook. You're including everything, put everything down, and you're seeing exactly your patterns. You're seeing how often you're spending money. One of the cool things about this exercise, you can see things that you're spending that you don't even use anymore. So if you see that you spent, X amount of dollars on a magazine subscription that you don't even care about anymore, get rid of it. And this is what this exercise does. When you're writing down what you're spending, you're making it clear, this is what I'm spending, which one of these is actually something I want to be spending my money on, and what can I actually do without. All right. So there's some cool apps out there. Acorns is a good app if you're looking at budgeting. Capital One's application really doesn't do anything for budgeting, but their accounts, we can have up to 25 savings accounts. So one thing I always tell customers when I'm speaking with them about our savings accounts, you don't want to just have one savings account and put everything in there, especially if you're going to try to save for different things. So if you're saving for a car, open up a savings account. If you're saving for a house, open up a savings account for that house, because then you'll be clear where the money is going and what it's for. When you're doing this, you're keeping track of your money, you're catching mistakes, and you're avoiding unexpected fees. All right. So we already know that budgeting has a bad rap. And people often start it and then stop, start, stop, start, stop. Why is it difficult sticking to a budget? Why can't we stick to a budget?
It's time consuming.
Time consuming.
Yeah, that's my biggest fault. The follow through.
Just something extra to think about. I think people lose the motivation because they're so, they have so much desire for things that they just don't care at one point.
Yeah.
And I think it's the lack of motivation.
Yep. For me, it's discipline. I have no discipline at all when it comes to Reese's peanut butter cups. I'm not lying. Once it's like Easter season and they have those Reese's peanut butter eggs, I don't know what happens. Like, I'll be on track and I'm saving money, and the next thing you know, I'll blow $50 in 2 weeks on candy. I'm 36 years old and I'm buying candy like I'm a 10-year-old. Like, what is my problem? But it's because I'm not disciplined. It's not that I can't do it. It's because I need to discipline myself to say, do not spend this money. That $50 I'm spending every 2 weeks, I could put that in my son's account, like, for his future. What am I doing, Best practices is to take time. So one thing I love to talk about when you're starting your budgeting, your budgeting strategies, try to have everything in buckets. So look at everything you're spending on in these 4 buckets. You have your essentials. What are some examples of essentials? Rent. Food. Utilities. Medicine. These are all things that if whatever's going on in your life, you need to have these things, Secondary needs. What's an example of a secondary need?
Car? Is that essential?
It can be for whatever it is that you're doing, but maybe not. It could be a secondary. So mobile phones can be secondary. Your internet and cable can be secondary. Then you have your nice-to-haves. What are some examples of some nice-to-haves? Netflix. Love Netflix. What is it?
Some nice makeup.
Some nice makeup. That's true. Netflix is the greatest.
Coffee.
Coffee, yes. Gym memberships, pets, non-basic clothing, vacations. Then you have your unnecessaries. What would we consider unnecessary?
Whatever you find at the checkout line next to you.
Yeah, right. You're at the aisle and
Impulse purchases.
Impulse purchases, exactly. That's exactly what those are. So once you split your spending into these 4 categories, you can reassess your current spending patterns. First thing you want to do, cut out all the unnecessaries. And it might be hard, but once you start filling out those expenses and you're seeing what you're spending your money on, it'll probably be a lot more easier for you to get those out of the way. Because you don't need them. Just like you said, they're impulse buys. All right. Second, try to cut 1 or 2 of the nice-to-haves. Why are you gonna, hurt yourself from getting a coffee. Like, you work hard for your money. Why not go ahead and get that caramel macchiato at the end of the week?
Just not every day.
Just not do it every day, you know. Number 3, looking at your secondary needs and your essentials and see if there's any way you can potentially cut those expenses. So your cable bill, if you're spending $130 on cable and you barely watch TV, get Netflix. It's $10 a month, you know? 8? There you go. It's even cheaper. You know what I mean? So yeah. So if you can do that, what you're doing then is you're able to actually have a savings. You're seeing more funds in your checking account and say, oh, wait, I can do something with this extra little bit of money I have right now. You know, maybe I could put this away for my car or my house or my students' college future. All right. Has anybody heard of the 50-20-30 guideline? All right. So with this guideline, it breaks up your salary into 3 buckets. Number 1, fixed cost. 50% of your salary should go to your fixed cost. So your rent, your insurance, your utilities, 50%. Take a look at your weekly checks, cut it in half, put 50% to that. Number 2, your financial goals. You want to put 20% away. So for your kids' college funds, for your vacations, for your mortgage in the future, 20% of your salary, put that in that bucket. And then for the 30%, this is your flexible spending. This is where you can spend on the things that you actually do want, your essentials, your secondary needs. Does anybody have any smart saving tips that you can share? Like, how do you guys save? When you guys are actually saving and you want to save for something important to you, how do you do it?
I would say I know the most money I spend is food and shopping. So I really just try to spend or go out the least, see how long I can go without going out and spending anything for like a week. Just go home after work, cook at home.
So you just cold turkey, you just don't spend money.
I try
You
to
just
spend at least money for like a week, and then at the end of the week I see how well I did, see if I did well the week before that. Every week try to spend less and less every day on things that just you don't need. Just don't go to the mall, don't go out, you know.
Okay. Jackie?
I automate money going automatically into that special account.
So an automatic savings plan. Great tip. I actually have the same thing. My son's checking savings account that we opened up for him when he was born, as soon as we opened that up, I automatically switch it to $50 a month to his account. I don't have to do anything. It just happens, and I don't even see it. Whatever comes into my checking account, that's what I have, and it doesn't even bother me. So that's a great tip to have. All right. So remember how you said that budgeting is restrictive and everything. And I think it's because of the word budget, when you hear that. So what if you were to look at it in a different way? What if I was to tell you, maybe not call it a budget, maybe call it a spending plan? So if you put it sounds more fun. Don't call it a budget. Say, this is my spending plan. I have a plan, and this is what I'm gonna do. If we recognize that we're in charge, there's all sorts of strategies and tips that can help, all right? How can conscious spending help us achieve?
Giving you that willpower that you didn't have before. You're more mindful.
That you're in charge.
That you're in charge. We're the ones that are in control of our financial freedom. So you have to be disciplined. And writing it down, whether it's with a pen and paper, whether it's with the Excel sheet, whether it's the application, it's always going to be on us to actually focus in on our budgeting and make sure that we do it the right way. All right. So some things that you might want to do, or something that you definitely want to do, you want to set short-term and long-term goals. Someone give me an example of a short-term goal. Or what's the difference between a short-term goal and a long-term goal?
I would say short-term would be within the year, long-term would be beyond.
Yes, exactly. So what would be an example of a short-term goal?
Financing a car.
Yep.
Paying off a bill.
Paying off a bill. Vacation, college education, retirement. What's an example of a long-term goal?
Buying a house.
Buying a house.
Moving out.
Moving out. So when you're setting these goals, you want to be specific. You don't want to just say, I want to buy a car. You say, I want to buy a car in 2 years, and I'm going to save $10,000. And once you have that in your mind, you're going to keep on it. You're going to want to continue that. Because it's easy to say, I want to save for a car. It's a lot better for you to start looking at it, I want to save for this specific car. So when you're looking carefully at your goals, ask yourself, which are my short-term goals? Which are my long-term goals? Which goals are most important to me? And how much money will I need to save each month to achieve these goals? Any questions? Well, congratulations. Very short workshop. So by just attending this workshop, you should be able to take some time to review your daily expenses, divide your expenses into wants and needs, consider ways to save money, identify short-term and long-term goals, and start determining what budget styles works best for you. If you guys want to learn more, a lot of this stuff, like I said, is on the website, capitalone.com/learn. It's a very, very useful page. Also, if you're interested in money coaching, Capital One offers sessions one-on-one with a certified money coach. It's a really great experience. They talk to you about your goals and what it is that you want to accomplish. It's happening right now at Harvard's Cafe location, as well as Ink Blocks. But we can do a spot session in this cafe if necessary. So if you're interested, let one of the ambassadors here in Hingham know, and we can set up a pop-up session with a money coach for you. And it's free of charge.
The 20-year-old might like something like that.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Yeah.
It helps.
Well, yeah, because she's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Gonna just start the job, she's gonna have loans due in a few months,
Yeah. That's what
and
the money
hopefully-
coaching is for big life steps.
Yeah, and it's cool because it's not telling you anything, it's more asking. And you're pretty much just saying everything, and you clearly see, what steps that you are gonna wanna take and steps that you're not gonna wanna take. It's a really good session.
Oh, I didn't realize that, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
I think the first 3 sessions are free, but they also they do group sessions as well. So if you want to do a group session or just a one-on-one session, let us know and we can set that up for you.
So it could be individual as well as group.
Yes. Yep. And that's that.
Thank you.
Very short, very brief.
you very much.
You're welcome.